What's going on, guys? We're back in Forza Motorsport 7 trying out a little wheel cam action. So this is actually my second attempt on the whole sled here because my first attempt was just shocking. I don't want to upload it. I was in a wall half of the time. Anyways, today went a little bit better, actually a lot better. And we'll come back to that in a little bit. Anyways, I'm finally back home. I'm happy to be back. And that means that I can actually get you guys some 4K gameplay of Forza Motorsport 7. Those 300 gig files I can finally get uploaded for you guys. So stay tuned, stay subscribed, and you can expect some 4K gameplay coming in very, very soon. So, anyways, let's talk about the game. Let's talk about what I'm on right now. This is called a VRX racing simulator, and it's actually made by a company out in Canada. I believe they're in Vancouver, and this rig costs $100,000. Yeah, it's pretty goddamn expensive, so if you'd like one, there you go. Anyways, they actually do some pretty cool things, like, obviously the whole seat moves and stuff, but say you want, like, a custom racing seat, essentially, what you gotta do is email these guys and give them a spec of your room, basically like the floor plan, and they will build a custom racing rig for you, and then you have to pay $100,000. So, yeah, there's that. If you've got some money to spend on what is essentially a vibrating chair. Let's talk about the game, talk about what I'm doing. The assists I'm using in this video are the ones that I usually drive with when I'm using a controller, so you can see I'm having to hold on to the car quite a bit. I'll come back to that in a little bit. Also, the AI is on the hardest difficulty in the game, which I believe for Forza Motorsport 7 is Pro. So, just to sort of heads up. For that. Anyway, so shall we talk about the game and what I'm doing here and what it feels like to play with a wheel? So, it feels awesome, I'll say. Forza Motorsport 7 feels very, very good. Like, I was saying it this way, when I was talking with some of the devs and some of the guys, like, behind the scenes about what we were doing and what it felt like. Essentially, this Porsche, we're driving the GT2 RS, obviously. There's no specs on it yet, but say roughly you're driving a 600-ish horsepower car, rear-wheel drive, rear engine, and as soon as you start turning those assist offs, like for me, I don't play with traction control on, I don't play with stability control on, none of that, and it really means that you have to control this car, and if you get on the power too early, you will spin. If you, like, unsettle the car, you will spin. If you've ever done, like, real-world racing or, like, done a track day thing before, it feels very, very similar. I was like, you're constantly pushing the car to the edge of the grip and you're trying to hold it on that limit basically the entire time. Now you can see here, this is when things go poorly on my first lap. I should say my first lap in general was me learning the braking points for the wheel and learning where I can get away with not braking or where I can use a bit more power, and that was a stupid move, just going for a gap that didn't exist anyways. That put me from, I think, 6th place down to about 10th. So I had some work to do to try and catch some people up. Anyways, this second lap was actually pretty interesting. This was my quick one. How quick, in fact? It was actually very quick. I didn't think I was doing anything that special. I was just trying to race cleanly and get you guys some good, like, wheel cam gameplay. And it turns out I banged in a 2 minutes 47 seconds using the whole wheel rig here and on this track with these assists and stuff like that. And I was like, that's not the cleanest lap ever. Like, you'll see me on this lap bump into some walls, bump into the traffic. I could have kept the power in some places. I could have braked a little bit less in some places. Like, I just bumped into the wall. Like, what? You shouldn't. I bumped into the McLaren now. Like, it could have been so much faster, but a 2 minutes 47 seconds, all the devs were like, you pulled a 2 minutes 47 seconds? I'm like, yeah, it wasn't very fast or clean. And they were like, that's the fastest lap we've had since the start of the show. I was like, what? Really? So yeah, that's my new claim to fame, is I now hold the Forza Motorsport 7 lap timer at E3, so that's quite cool. I can now put that on my CV. Anyways, yeah, like I was saying, it's really, really not a perfect lap. I was telling the guys in line, when they saw the time, they were like, holy shit, that was really fast. I'm like, no. And they were like, okay, we're gonna try and beat your time. I'm like, alright, come find me if you do, because I still have a couple more seconds in me. But, yeah, it was actually really, really cool driving with a wheel. It feels so intense. driving with a wheel. Like I was saying, if you've ever done real racing, you're seriously being tossed around so much, and you're constantly having to try to settle the car, trying to push it to that edge of grip, and then holding it there for the entire time. Because if you let off, and if you start slowing down, just everyone's going to pass you, smash into the back of you, things like that, and it just won't go well at all. But yeah, anyways, this is where I start to actually do some pretty good driving, navigating some of the traffic up to 7th place now. It is looking pretty good. It's just like, you can see what I mean, just getting chucked around by the seat so much. I should say that the seat is actually turned up really, really high. Obviously, it's not super realistic, but they just wanted to turn the seat to make it move basically as much as possible, so it was sort of like a thrill ride. So you can sort of see what I mean, like, it moves a lot more than it probably should. If you had one of these at your house, you would probably not be using it where it's this aggressive. Like, you can see every time I get on the brakes, it's just like I get thrown basically into the seat, or into the screen. And then every time I get on the power or shift gears, it's like the whole thing just vibrates like crazy. Anyways, there you go. That has been my second lap using the wheel. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, you can subscribe for more Forza 7 gameplay. Also, check back for some Forza 7 4K gameplay very, very soon. And also, check out, if you missed it, the Q&A with the devs. We talk about everything from the Cadillac limo coming back, which is an awesome one. M. Rossi is also on the back, and Top Gear, and as well as some other things. So if any of that is up your street, I will link to it in the description down below as well. Check out the website, because that has everything you need to know if you missed anything at E3. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, like I said, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye!